You're listening to the ADHD Heroes Podcast, a podcast where we speak with the heroes of the ADHD community, namely educators, mental health professionals, and of course, those with ADHD themselves, to gain insights, tools, and most importantly, inspiration towards succeeding and thriving with ADHD. I'm your host, Rabbi Shmuel Reich, a high school Rebbe and an ADHD coach in private practice. Welcome to the show. Hi there. On this week's episode, I spoke with Shloime Balsam, a kollel fellow and therapist in Jerusalem, about his ADHD story. We discussed a diagnosis in his late teens, being bullied as a kid, how he managed to get through school by entertaining himself, successfully staying out of trouble, and having kind teachers who cared about him even if they didn't understand him, his decision not to pursue medication, strategies he uses for learning, his many creative outlets, including writing books, composing songs, starting a YouTube channel, and podcasting, and a lot more. Before we dive into the episode, I'd like to tell you about another podcast I listen to called the Chinuch Today Podcast. The host of the Chinuch Today Podcast is former ADHD Heroes podcast guest, Rabbi Yerachmiel Garfield, Menahel of Yeshiva Torah Emes of Houston, Texas. Rabbi Garfield interviews a wide range of creative thinkers who are already implementing their valuable innovations in the world of education. So whether you're a principal looking for new ideas to implement broadly, a classroom educator looking for inspiration, or a caring parent looking for hope through what is coming down the pipeline, the Chinuch Today podcast may be for you. If you'd like an ad for your product here on the ADHD Heroes podcast, you can send us an email at adhdheroespodcast@gmail.com. Now, on to the episode. Enjoy. Shloime Balsam, welcome to the ADHD Heroes podcast. I'm very excited for this conversation today.
Me too.
Okay, excellent. Let's do it. So let's begin with a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay, me. First of all, I want to say, Shmuel, thank you for having me on. Any excuse to schmooze with you is like my favorite thing in the world. And I think it's brilliant what you're doing here. Like you have a field that you're working in. And like, I only understood how amazing podcasting is. Like when you invited me on, I was like, you get to talk to all the most amazing people, specifically in this field, and apparently me. So like you're just gathering intel, and we're all excited to talk with you. So thank you for having me. This is really cool. My story. I am a regular flaming from birth, born in Brooklyn, went through the regular yeshiva system, jumped around a little bit. I learned in Monsey by Berdinsky. I learned in Chofetz Chaim, Miami. I went to go study in Israel in Torah Or, and then I went to Shar Yashuv in Far Rockaway, and then at like 24, 25, I moved to Israel, and I've been living here ever since. When I was learning in Torah Or, I developed a relationship with the mashgiach there, Rav Noach Orlowick, and I got to sit with him every week for 15 minutes. And like every now and then, I would like hop in for a breakfast and watch him eat an apple, which was really cool, by the way. But
Cool.
he, one of our meetings, for those of you who aren't familiar with Rav Nach, he has this like superpower where he could read people. Like people bring him pictures of like their kids, and they could like read the eyes and like tell you all about you. It's like really, it's sort of spooky. But he has like this like inclination. So I asked him in one of our meetings, I said, I have like this affinity towards psychology, and I wasn't thinking at all about going into the field yet. I was still like a 19-year-old punk. And I said, like, if one day I were to go, and do it as a profession, to make a buck, would you recommend it? What do you recommend me doing? Like, what do you see in me that I can't see in myself? And right, so this is like 10, 15 years ago. We have a 15-minute meeting, and for about 8 or 9 minutes, he just looked at me and like me. It was the spookiest thing. It was really cool. Every now and then he would like knock the table and ask me a question like, are you the type of guy? And I was like, yeah, I guess I am that type of guy. Interesting. I never thought about that. Cool. And he started like explaining me to me, which was also really cool because he had the vocabulary and the insight. He nailed me down. And then after like a 9-minute pause, he said, you should be a non-substance abuse counselor. And I said, a non-substance abuse counselor. You're going to have to break that down for me. And he said, like, you should be able to help guys with internet addiction and like, and I guess gambling also, or shopping. But primarily internet. And 10 years ago, it wasn't that much of a thing. Like now, when I tell people that I work with adolescents and internet addiction, they're like, oh yeah, like there's a desperate need for it. It wasn't so much back then, but he planted that seed in my head. He also said I'd be a good second grade Rebbe. And after living in Israel for like 4 years, I got my degree in clinical counseling, and I had been working in Or Sameach as a Rebbe in the Derech program. So I segued into working with them with their emotional challenges. And since then, I've branched off. I wrote a couple of books on therapy. And Rav Yitzchak Berkowitz, I'm learning in the JK now, the Jerusalem kollel. So I developed a relationship with Rav Berkowitz. I get to walk him home to kollel every day. And he set me on a mission to write books for children to help them understand and explore their own emotions. So
So we had that second grade Rebbe you had. Right?
yeah, 100%. It's just like that inner child in me that I hope never, ever, ever dies. You introduced me to the Muppets. You know that?
Did I? I did not know that.
Yeah.
What did I do?
It was amazing. It was amazing. Every time I see a Muppet, I think of you. So it's a positive association right there. So that's where I'm holding now, and that's something of my journey. Yeah.
Excellent. Wow. Okay. So with all this in mind, what is the first memory you have that you associate with ADHD?
To tell you the truth, it was really, really late in life. In hindsight, it definitely had like a sack full of symptoms, but none of them dawned on me as ADHD until like second, third year base medrash. I only went to therapy for the first time in when I was like 18, 19 years old, and I enjoyed it. I went to two therapists. One was really good. One was less fit for me, and um, the one that was less fit for me offered to give me an ADHD test. I think then it was still they were still differentiating ADD and ADHD. But I was like, why not? I'll go for it. Can't hurt. So I took the test and I did great. And he's like, you have ADD. I said,
Right.
okay,
Studied hard.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, but only then did I look back at the last 20 years. I was like, I guess I've kind of always been like this. I guess my mind has always been running, and and as I went through the questions they were asking me on the test, I was like, yeah, that's totally me. Cool. I guess that's me. But I never associated it as a child growing up as anything diagnosable.
Interesting. What was your schooling like? Like the younger years?
I was the type of kid who I would bully. I was very bullyable. Let's put it like that. Yeah. A
Okay.
squeaky voice, always had something to say, bouncing off the walls. Kind of had like an outer confidence, which didn't match internally.
Right.
So I would put myself into situations without any exit plan. And and I'm telling you, every bully who I have met since elementary school, I respect and love and have a great relationship with. Like they were great people. I was just very, very bullyable. So um, I had a few teachers who I connected with just because they were just kind and I could tell they cared about me. The material though, I don't remember learning anything. I remember being jealous of the kid next to me who was good at doodling. I wasn't very good at doodling. I could like scribble like flowers and stuff. But like I wasn't very good at drawing, but I was always looking for something else to do. Like whatever class we were in, I was on the other subject, or I have very vivid memories of the windows of my classroom. How about that?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Any fond ones? Like fond memories of things that you were generating while you were finding more interesting things to do than try to follow class?
We used to go for pizza every Friday. It was like a class thing. Because it was nice. It was like $3.50 for a full meal. Right, those are the days. And and the best part of the whole experience were the straws, because they would sell these individual. They would like give out these individually wrapped straws with a paper on it. So
Sure.
essentially, right, they didn't realize it, but what they were giving to these 10-year-olds were essentially spitball machines, because the paper comes off. You chew
Right.
it up a little bit, put it on the end, and then you could spit it and with the straw, right? So it's like it's all
Right.
prepackaged. And when I sat. This is probably seventh grade, maybe sixth. I sat on the left side of the classroom, right next near a window, and in front of me was the filing cabinet where the teachers kept all their books and supplies and whatever. And I remember I used to, so I was just me, a window, and a filing cabinet. So I used
Life
to
is good,
spit
huh?
so many. Yeah, that's all you need. And I spit so many spitballs. There was like a mountain crusted on the side of this. But it kept me engaged and it kept me out of trouble. And I was happy. My teachers were happy. So it worked. That was like the first fidget toy.
Interesting. Yeah. One could argue that perhaps you invented fidget toys.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Lawsuit patenting,
Well,
pending. Yeah.
oh, there we go. Let's think out of the box like that. How did the adults react? Meaning, if you kept yourself entertained enough that nobody noticed anything, no one said anything. Like how did that go?
I wasn't much of a troublemaker. I was a very sweet kid. Like I was nice, and I was scared of teachers. So like I really respected them. Not however much a 5-year-old respect, but like there's a certain like I respected authority. So I didn't push too many boundaries. So even if I was bouncing off the walls, but I was very easy to put back into place.
Right.
So yeah, and I never is this something interesting? I don't know if there's an ADHD symptom, but I never fully got the difference in age gaps. So, meaning I could be best friends with someone who's 5 years younger than me, and it'll never like process that he's like 10, 15 years younger or like 2 years older. Like I'm very bad at ages, so it works to my advantage. Like I could really see eye to eye with adults and people much younger than me. So that I was able to have like maybe hopefully my teachers were able to see eye to eye with me in that sense, so we could communicate, and he could be like, okay, like obviously you have to stop, like you should not have been throwing a ball at that kid's head. It's like,
Right.
what, come to think of it. That probably makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. See, a lot of people with ADHD are great with kids, and I wonder about their relationship with people who are older. I could see that coming from a bunch of different places. Sometimes it's the natural, you know, social side. The not everyone with ADHD is extroverted, but they can often travel together for sure. Like the fun, bouncy personality can come out in that way. Sometimes not seeing boundaries can be a hindrance, but I wonder if in this context
Mm.
it could be an advantage. I wonder.
Yeah.
We can leave that as an open-ended question. This seemed
Yeah.
to serve you well.
Yeah. I'm definitely a very curious person,
Right.
and I think people want people to be curious about them. Like everyone loves someone who's curious about them.
Yeah, people like talking about themselves.
Yeah, and I loved when people were talking about themselves. So it's always a great shidduch.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah,
that's a good
talk to me.
win-win right there.
Yeah.
Excellent. What did it look like academically for you? Meaning, it sounds like you kept out of trouble. It sounds like you entertained
Yeah.
yourself. Um, what did grades look like, and did that matter?
Um, in elementary school, I got pretty good grades. I was sort of a goody goody. I know I had to get good grades.
Right.
I think I'm just smart. Without self patting too much, but like, yeah, I have good brains, so I was able to pick up on material pretty quickly. The problem was, what do you do after that? And like now that I understand it, now what? So I was good at cramming.
Right.
Um, and
It's a good
yeah,
skill for
and
school. Yeah.
yeah. So at the end of the day, I was getting in the A's. Like I did pretty well. In high school, high school, um, I realized that anything above 65 gives you the exact same merits as 90 to 100. I think in college that you have your it was a GPA, so
Right.
you want to get a little higher. But in high school, like it was pretty much pass or fail. At least that's that was the sense I got. At least for Regents, like I just needed to pass.
Right.
So I started aiming for like upper 60s, low 70s, because after that it was just extra strain where I could be spending good time doing nothing. So
Right. Perfect. Read right through that system.
yeah, yeah,
Is there anything that you wish you had known in your schooling years, or you wish the adults had known during your schooling years?
I'm really grateful that there's more information out there about how people, how kids think differently. Um, I feel like education in general has gotten much better because of that. Like, kids aren't just bad kids. I believe there was like a certain evolution to this where like the teachers were becoming more conscious of ADHD, and then they're like, hey, we could drug a kid, and then he'll stop being ADHD. Problem solved.
Right.
To some extent, and there's a place for that. Um, but but then they realized it's more complex, and teachers started just understanding like, okay, this kid thinks differently. Like he needs a different. Maybe he just needs to stand, and then he'll digest information because he just has to be dancing in order to digest. Or the McKellarman has this awesome story of a teacher who was brought in as the sacrificial teacher for the ADHD class, and he had no experience teaching, which served his benefit. He's like, he didn't have that whole mindset of the desks, set up and the attendance or anything. So he's like, okay, I could do it. It was fair
Right.
game. So he came in with a basketball,
Oh, that's
and
great.
it was amazing. And he was just throwing the ball at kids while screaming a question, and if they got the answer right, they would throw it back, and it was just like the principal would look into the room and like have a heart attack. But these kids walked out knowing the information. That's just what they needed. So I'm really grateful for the information that's come out. As far as when I was a kid, I just had teachers who cared about me. So whether they got it or not, like they saw through it. And like I never had any teachers who or principals who were you know I was a cute kid, maybe. It's like that got
Right.
me far. But my teachers were nice to me, and I didn't have any of those, like, at least I don't remember the traumas yet. So I was just blessed with really good teachers who cared enough to put up with me.
Right. Fantastic. Wow. If
Yeah.
if a teacher is listening to this, what do you want them to know that they that your teachers did right? What can they do more of?
I loved singing.
Oh, that's
even just
great.
to break up, even just to break it up. Like it doesn't have to be a full on break. Just that there was an ebb and flow in the class, and like you sing with 30 people. That it rewires your brain. Um, Even if 75% of them were off key, but
Right.
it's something wonderful about it. It was kind of like a break. So I had a rep used to teach us a song. I think every week was a new song. I really
Whoa.
enjoyed that.
So creative.
Yeah, yeah. All the teachers who would draw on the board, like say it out and write it out. If you could put
Right.
a picture to the words, offering the different ways of processing. I was really grateful for that because teacher would say it the first time, and there was one kid who would grab it the whole time. I remember his name. I'm not going to say it, but it bugged me out because every time the teacher would say it, and he would say right and ask the next question, the teacher would be like, "Perfect,"
Right.
and I would be like, "Oh no!" So I'm imperfect because I didn't get it the first time, and I didn't think of that question,
Right.
and I would fall into immediate despair. I was like, "Okay, I'm not getting the rest of the class. I'm out." Um, so I kind of wish the teachers would have told those kids who got it the first time, like, "Awesome." I don't know, get out of here, come back in 10 minutes. I have no idea how teachers do it effectively. You have 30 kids and none of them are going to be on the same pitch at the same time. So I tip my hat to any teacher who gets most of his kids on board. So I'm not going to be preaching.
Right. Um, what did teachers do right for you in high school?
Oh man.
The singing's
Think,
good in high school too. Sing,
yeah, I think it was
things that little
really
guys
good.
like, big people like.
Yeah.
Also, they just can't say it.
Yeah, 100%. You have your own version of it. I had headphones. I definitely lost some of my hearing in high school. I was always listening to music and discovered a lot of really good bands. I was given a lot of space, but with boundaries. Like I knew that if I threw firecrackers at somebody in the gym, there would be some sort of consequence. And I was fine with that. I remember vividly being suspended, and the principal who was suspending me, I knew as he was doing it that he loved me. I could feel like he wished more than I was that we weren't in this situation. That was amazing. They really gave me space, sometimes too much space. I definitely got myself in trouble, but I really enjoyed that space, and the self discovery there was amazing. Like they kept on planting all these ideas that I could grab onto. My 10th grade Rebbe was like really into psychology at the time. I believe he still is, and he kept on pumping these ideas, which subliminally made a huge difference on me, to me. And I think they instilled in me the this is interesting, the appreciation, and even the striving. Like I looked forward to a challenge. Like I started enjoying the burn. Like I started dieting in high school. Like I lost real weight in high school. I was chubby until high school. And just I love that like I learned that hunger is growth. Like hunger pains and growth. So and like a good, like I couldn't jog up a hill without falling apart. And then I learned that I could jog a little further. And it was that little further that felt so good. So if I could push myself to finish something, like I never thought I could learn a book cover to cover. And then I learned about sticky notes. I was like, okay, but I could learn a page, right? Or maybe a paragraph. Let's be real. And so, and then just like at the end of the year, like that sticky note was just so far along in the book. I was like, wow, and I kept on pushing that up, and tried holding on to those old growths, and just become somebody big, little
Right.
by
Well,
little.
what did they do right to instill that?
First of all, they were doing it. They definitely showed it by example. Like they were like shifting careers, and pushing themselves. Like you could see it. Not that they were like trying to get us to do it necessarily. Definitely, they weren't trying to get us to do what they were doing, but they made themselves vulnerable in sharing the challenges they were going through. Very real people, just genuine, and I was able to connect to that. Like you can't connect to like these like demigodly people. I was like, okay, so that's you and I'm me. I'll never be that. But when it's
Right.
someone who's like, yeah, I also had like a really hard, like I'm just really tired today. I was like, I know what that's like. I can also do tired. Like, what do you do when you're tired? And he's pushing through the day. I was like, okay, so and he looks pumped about it. Like, okay, I want to feel that. I want to do that.
Well, incredible.
Good people make good people.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
That's good. Any other highlights coming to mind from your schooling years?
I didn't enjoy learning till I got to Israel. So that means 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, like 8, 9 years of being in school and not enjoying the academia side of it. And I stayed in school and I never thought about leaving. So what was I doing for 8 years? I definitely picked up on some skills along the way, but I explored. Like I learned other stuff. I learned out of the box stuff, and I was in an environment where they encouraged it. There was the curriculum, and if I wanted to know what was going on the next day, I had to do the stuff that wasn't really my speed and was a little dry, and I was still developing a taste you know, for the Aramaic and for the style and for the question, and like I'm not like an analytical type of guy. It's just not my thing. Like you ask me a question, like I'll tell you the first 24 answers that come to me, and then I'm on to the next thing. I gotta go.
Right.
Um, and it didn't really bother me so much. But when I finally got it, it felt amazing, and it felt amazing that I was able to make it to that point. Like the last 8 years were worth it,
Right.
and that was really really cool to see. Like this was a worthwhile investment, to be able to do something that I'm not naturally good at.
Right.
That was really cool.
So
Took a
if
long time.
somebody's listening to this and they haven't, they're still in those 8 years where they're not having fun yet. What do you
Yeah.
want to tell them? What can they hear?
Oh man, it stinks. Yeah, but yeah,
That's good. That's good.
it's really really hard. It's that, you know, classical music and fine wine don't they're not yummy. Coke and
Right.
chips are yummy.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I stick with it, and all the good things take time. And in the meantime, Rabbi Feiner told me. I asked him this like once. I was like, because he's one of those guys that like clearly loves learning, and I was one of those guys who I clearly did not. I was not enjoying it, and I'm hearing all these people saying like, "Oh, it's more delicious than ice cream." It's like I've had ice cream, and this there's like a real difference between the two. He told me he was very validating, which is very important. We have to do that for ourselves. He said it is really hard. Keep something that you do enjoy reading underneath the book that you don't enjoy but want to enjoy reading, and give yourself little breaks where you can. The example he gave was "Strive for Truth" from Rev Dessler. If whatever you're inclined to do, Chasidus Halacha Moser Ashkafa, Ramesh Shapiro's Torah can blow your mind. And when you're going through a Gemara and trying to crack your head on something that your Rebbe is trying to introduce you to a new line of thinking, so that is hard, and we're struggling with the neuroplasticity of our brains. Try to remind yourself that you do enjoy reading. I I read Harry Potter cover to cover twice, so it wasn't a problem of sitting and reading. It's just that this isn't grabbing me. So in eighth grade, I used to spend my breaks reading Harry Potter just to remind myself that, like, oh no, I could read. It's not about the book, and it is hard.
Right. Excellent.
And Harry Potter's awesome.
Well, yes, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So you come from a big family. Does that play a role one way or another? And lots of fun personalities there too. Did that play a role also?
Yeah, yeah. Baruch Hashem, every single person in our family is entirely different, totally, totally different, and we appreciate that in each other. And I think my parents. I'm a middle child, so that comes with its own syndromes. I think my parents got a whole bunch of practice before me, so that was good. And to some degree, I did get lost in the crowd. Um, you know, and the brother right under me was a handful, so he took a lot of the attention from me. But the truth is, I'm really okay by myself. I know Rav Shlomo Hoffman said that when he retired, he locked himself in a library and was just reading books. And people told him like, no, you have to like socialize. This isn't unhealthy. And he smiled and he's like, fine. And he like joined the yeshiva and gave chaburs or something. But he said that the truth is he was absolutely content. And you know, uh, he knew what he was talking about. He's very self aware. I really am okay by myself. So I was good like that. I'm blessed with incredible parents, and as cuckoo and wacko, and every time I got suspended and everything, they I never got labeled. I had this line. It was last week. It came to me. It's a lot easier to deal with ADHD than it is with a label. It's a lot easier to work through ADHD than it is to work through a label.
Tell me more.
I never got a label. No one ever called me anything. No one ever told me I was different. I just assumed, I don't know. So I'm a little louder. I'm a little this. I'm a little, I think differently. That's fine. All right, everyone thinks differently. So I'm with everyone. No one wants to be that odd man out, and it's so hard to shake that once you plant that into someone's mind, especially a kid. When you tell a kid something, it becomes fact immediately, especially when an authority tells it to them. I think there was someone who tried diagnosing me in high school. I don't remember it, and my mother had a cow. No, what are you doing? No, no, no. And she was very protective. Yeah, a few years later, I took the test, and by then I was already like more self-aware, and I was able to, make my own decisions with that new information. I was like, oh, okay, so I fit into that category. Cool. But to be labeled that younger, I'm very, very grateful that I didn't get that, and my parents were. They were definitely not overprotective, and but they were like conscious enough to know that calling me something might come with, with all the benefits of knowing what the diagnosis is. It might come with some baggage
Right.
to a high school kid. Yeah.
Got it. I guess what precipitated the therapist making the diagnosis or bringing it up?
I don't remember exactly. I always thought that my mind was quick, and for better for worse. I just I was toying with the idea of medicating a little bit and trying out what it would be like to have a still mind. Like what would that be like? Just
Right.
it's again from that place of curiosity. I know Rav Yitzchok Berkowitz, his sheet on ADHD is maybe I'll still try it one day. But his sheet is to do 2 week trials where you take a kid who's at a certain level of maturity where he can push himself consciously, and you let him know that we're going to slow down your mind for a little while, and you'll see what it's like to get through a whole page of Gemara, and just to see what that's like, just once in your life, and and slowly build into that experience, immerse yourself in it, and then slowly eke off in a way where it's like, oh, it's getting harder to focus. Okay, let's see if you could do it. Push, and then build those internal muscles so that he could do it himself. So I was toying with something like that. I had a Rebbe who like he's just like, one day he's like, hey, do you want to try it? Like, I have a couple extra pills. I was like, whoa. Yeah, actually, I think I said, I don't know what my mother would say. So I
Oh,
got to thank God for
excellent.
my mother. Yeah, yeah. But he meant it like just trying to help. It was very sweet of him, nice man. So I think I was going down that path. Once I got the diagnosis, I was like, I don't really need it. I was fine. Like, some of my favorite people have excitable minds, and like, I'm perfectly fine. I got this far,
Right.
and I think I already developed enough like self discipline to be able to like appreciate the pros and cons of how my mind worked.
Right. What did that look like, that development process?
It's a lot of acceptance. Like, it's a lot of acceptance. It's like, yeah, like there are certain things that I just can't do. Or there's some things that'll wipe me out. It'll take me a tremendous amount of energy to do, and yeah, that guy, 2 seats over, he has no problem with it. What is it like? Comparison is the death of all joy. It's like, yeah, but there are things that I could do that he can never do, and I had already had enough like talents on display. Like, I had been given enough recognition for what I could do that other people couldn't. Even like the weirdest things. But I knew that like I was special in my own way,
Right.
and and I wasn't bullying, and I wasn't annoying people, so like people weren't bullying me for it. So like I already reeled in like the annoying component, or I was able to know when it was getting annoying. So I had So it's interesting. I really appreciate these questions. It's nice to reflect on this a little bit, go down memory
Oh, I'm
lane.
glad.
But whatever reason, I was at that point where I was able to embrace it enough that I took it as a badge of honor. I was like, sweet, okay, I could do that. Yeah.
Right. So if somebody's like in their in their years after high school, they're really trying to find themselves in learning, or a Rebbe who's teaching kids like that, what are things you might recommend that they would work on based on your own experience? Obviously, everybody's different, but what are things that you've experienced, or even toyed with or thought about that you could see helping them?
There are like the little just behavioral things that help. Um,
Tell me more.
get a chavrusa who doesn't mind. Get a chavrusa that doesn't mind that you're reading all the time.
Right. Well, that's good.
Yeah, yeah. I know it. Like, when I'm reading, I'm involved. The guy next to me starts reading, and it's tug of war. But I've come to accept that. Like, if it's gonna be, we're gonna have to take turns, and I know that it's gonna be an uphill battle when he's reading, and I'm gonna ask him to repeat it, or I'll read along with him to myself.
Right.
I would keep a ruler on the place. And Rav Chaim
That's good.
Kanevsky put his tzitzis along, so he also had ADHD. Maybe judging, a little reverse engineering. Maybe find out what gets you distracted and try avoiding it as much as you could, and accept the times when you just can't do anything about it. It's like, yeah, this is just how my mind works. This is my big beautiful mind, and yeah,
It's a
this is part
package.
of it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Okay, swinging it over to some ADHD superpowers, which you alluded to before. But speaking of ADHD heroes, I feel like you display a lot of ADHD superpowers. So talk to us.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So the world never would have had Robin Williams if we had Ritalin 50 years ago. It's like, you could connect things that no one else thinks of. I just saw that 70% of adults aren't diagnosed with ADHD. And I think they were reporting it as a bad thing.
Right.
But like, you could be so creative and energetic and exciting. And as far as carrying on conversations, like you could talk to yourself endlessly. Like there's always something else that pops into your head. It is the type. It's a type of a beast you have to harness. But if you could learn to ride it, like you're going twice as fast. You just like you're a divergent thinker. You think differently than everyone else, and you learn to appreciate that yourself. Like in camp was like heaven. Like color war, like anything that's artistic and out of the box, like that is your box. It's and obviously even with everyone who shares a diagnosis, everyone's different, and everyone's gonna have their own things that clicks with them. Um, if you get locked in on a project, like no one could stop you. So just pick the right project. If you choose video games, you're gonna get number one. If you choose, something else, like you'll master it. Like no one could tear you away from it. Just enjoy that hyper focus that other people can't get to.
Right. What are some of the creative outlets that you engage in? I know a bunch, but what are some of the ones I know, and what are some of the ones that I don't know?
The answer is all of them.
Oh, you bet. Yeah.
I'm a fascinated person. So if I hear of anything that for whatever reason it piques my interest, like I will dive into it hardcore for like a week. You know? So like I'll go crazy with a fish tank, and like I'll know everything about every fish and like how it works, and then Baruch Hashem, it wasn't like horses, like fish. You could just leave them in the tank and move on to the next thing.
Right.
Um, Music is a huge outlet for me, so I'm like
Right.
a bit of like a jack of all trades, master of none. Whatever I've gotten to some sort of mastery of was hard. It was very hard to stick with it, or finding different angles of this one thing so that I could develop different parts of it to develop some sort of mastery. Um,
I think that's huge,
Music, yeah,
right? Meaning finding different angles keeps it fresh and interesting. Am I getting that right?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
exactly. Yeah, it keeps it exciting. There's something new and interesting about it. Um, Computers and music. So let's start with musical instruments. So I started. My father got me a harmonica in eighth grade, and
Oh, nice.
I played that ferociously for like 2 months, to the chagrin of my roommates. Then I picked up a guitar. I played 6 7 hours for the first few years that I was playing guitar, also to the chagrin of my roommates, and we had thin walls, so the entire floor pretty much. I mean, I got it's like I woke up a lot of people during break, but I was like a machine. I was like I was just I fell asleep on my guitar, and then I got a keyboard and I learned piano and then electric guitar. So then I was toying with every type of amp and pedal and effects, and then my brother got me this little like recording device, and I went insane because when it comes to music, it's endless with every effect and layer and instrument and style, and the options are so there. It's actually it feeds into itself because it's you know Rebbe Sinclair says like you keep on perfecting it until it's awful. It's like you just it's never ending. You could keep on layering and pulling out and trying this and that and so that just fed into the ADHD. That was a perfect match. Um, and then I learned drums. One of the guys in my class had a drum set. We buried that in the sub basement of yeshiva, so it was slightly less disturbing. And also, I played that for like I sat down and I wouldn't get up until my hands were blistered, and I just put a band-aid on and came back. Books, I'm not good at getting through books, but I've read a lot of them. Meaning, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I cracked the cover of a lot of books.
Right.
Uh, and audiobooks are a lot easier for me than books. Even though I do love sitting and reading, I really do,
Right.
but I'm much better at listening. So I devour information on podcasts and that medium. I've redesigned my room 30 times. Just every time, like, oh, if we put that over there and that over there and that over there, and we stack that and stack this, and what if we? So and I love it, and that it's when I look at something that I made, when I put out a song, and like, that all just came together. I compose songs. That's a great outlet. Even just to compose a song, and no one will ever hear it,
Right.
but it was a creative process, and it was something for me, to be able to look back at those. It's important to pause and look back and, like, I just created something that only I could create.
Wow, right. It's powerful.
Part of that package.
Yeah. You were also head lifeguard. I got that right?
Well, yeah, right. Lifeguard, and my father taught me Mila, and I'm a therapist. I'm also a therapist. Yeah, and started putting out books, and I learned full time, so that's good. I'm in kollel. Yeah, if you could see I have ADD when you go on my website. There's just tabs and tabs and tabs and tabs and tabs and tabs. This is very exciting. Last week, I put out a book, which is
Congratulations.
really exciting for me. Thank you very much. Um, I had never thought in my life that I could write a book. I could talk forever, but I can't. But to sit down and write, like, no, my handwriting is entertaining.
Right.
Lack of a better word. Like, I'll write something down, and then I'll spend longer just trying to decipher it.
Getting you into
Those
medicine.
hieroglyphics. Yeah, yeah. Right. um, and then, but I challenged myself. I said, I can't write a book, and I was fine with that. But I could write a parsha sheet. Those parsha sheets you see on the table on Shabbos, and Matzah Shabbos. You see those stacks of. So, and I enjoyed reading them, and I was like, I could write one. So I tried finding a niche of something that wasn't filled, and just for myself, because, like, I wanted to write a book. Because if I write something on every parsha every week, after a year, I'll have written on the entire year. I'll have a sefer on the whole Torah. So I did 1 week, and then it was pretty awful looking back. And then another week, I did it for 2 years. Uh, uh, the second year was publishable. That was pretty solid. And I had just had a couple of guys in my shul who were supportive, and they said, like, this is amazing. I was like, really? Okay. I was like, someone read it. I was like, okay, fine. So I'll print you out one next week. And it was just that little bit of support. And then, like, I had people saying, like it really was different. I was infusing some mental health concept that I was seeing from the parsha, or like a word I heard that, like any Kutzker word, or like something that talks to mental health. And I was tying that in. And I guess it was something new. And I wasn't trying to be anything that I'm not. I was just writing the way I would have said it to you if you were standing in front of me. And it caught on. And to be able, the book's in the mail from Amazon, so it takes, like, whatever, 9 years to get to Israel. But like, just to hold that, I was like, I made this. I did something impossible. That was really cool.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah,
What were some things you learned along the way to make that happen?
it's fun. It really is fun.
Right.
Um, I'm not a perfectionist, and that's fine. So I shouldn't try to be a perfectionist.
Right.
Um, you know, get an editor. I'm not an
Right.
editor. I can't do that. I'm not a dot the T and cross the I guy. No,
Right.
yeah, definitely don't do those. I'm not a dot the I cross the T guy.
Right.
Um, but I can write, and it's fun, and it's exciting, and my voice comes through. So that's something, and I shouldn't
Right.
ignore that, because I have a bajillion grammatical mistakes, and I'm capitalizing random words. So, but I was able to see the value in that, and it ended up being really fun. Like, I really do enjoy writing now, which is something I never thought I'd say. So the things that you think you'll never be able to do, you really could develop a taste for them and even enjoy it.
Interesting. How does that happen? How does developing a taste for a new skill happen? I mean, sometimes you tell somebody there's a new skill out there waiting for you, and sometimes it hits them and they find each other, and that's like a natural ADHD style development. Is that how
Yeah.
it needs to happen, or could it sometimes be like you plant the seed, hey, maybe this will be interesting, and they're like, no, 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 not me, and then they can find it somehow? Can that happen?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I mean, if I told you the amount of projects that I started which got nowhere, it would
Right.
answer your question on the spot. Like,
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, you can miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So like I've had, yeah. Um, I don't start every project I think of.
Right.
Um, but I try to.
Right.
I try to. And now, with AI, it's so easy to get something up and running.
Right.
So, like Berkowitz mentioned last week that we need an online chinuch system for people who want to do kiruv middle of nowhere. Right? Guy wants to move to Bangladesh. Like,
Right.
where's he going to send his kids to school? I was like, great, let's do it. Right. So,
Right.
I was like, okay, ChatGPT, let's do this. You and me. Right.
Right.
Turns out it costs like $500,000. So like, okay, there are things that'll slow us down, but like $500,000. But you know, but I'll try it. I'll put it out there. I'll give it a shot. Like I put out a Parsha video when COVID started, so I wanted to connect to people in America. So I put up a camera and I took out my guitar. I was like, okay, what was that? I called it a Vart Astoria song. Right. So I said it's Torah, and I found some story, and I tried tying it in. Sometimes it was not a smooth segue, right. And then whatever song was on my mind, it could be an original or it could be a random callback song or something to do with the Yom Tov that's coming up.
Right.
I think I did it for like 3-4 years, and I got like it didn't take much to keep me motivated. Like my mother and grandfather saying that was awesome. That's
Right.
it. And my brother, like just a little bit of like, it didn't take that much out of me, and I enjoyed doing it. It was something that came naturally to me. But if it could be, I would have done it like for 2-3 weeks and stopped. I started a YouTube channel doing tours in Eretz Israel. Yeah, I don't know. I got a couple subscribers. Yeah, someone's gonna watch it and be like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Cool." I have a cooking show for Pete's sakes. Yeah,
Cool.
How about that?
Whoa.
Yeah, because I was having fun in the kitchen. I was like,
Right.
yeah, like why not? Not every kitchen has to be clean to cooking. So
Right.
I have a kitchen. Let's do it. It's cooking the chef for the imperfect.
Right.
Yeah, take the shot. And worst case scenario, you won't enjoy it. Move on to the next thing.
Right. Awesome. At some point, you had quite a few podcast domains. What
Oh yeah, yeah. I found a way to express myself over there.
Right.
A lot of that was like I figured out the podcasting system. I wasn't early in the game. It was already a thing, but it was early enough that I heard of Ari Leibowitz say that anyone who's breathing has a podcast. I was like, wait, I'm breathing. Come on.
Right.
So I got on board with that. I did a lot of disseminating other people's speeches, which I thought were amazing, just to share it with people who are on the podcasting medium of listening to things. So I just wanted the things that I enjoyed to pop up on their feed.
Right.
So I started a podcast for them, and I do learn by talking. So I started the therapy podcast, which no one had taken, by the way. The therapy podcast, like nobody. So so I tackled that real quick.
That was a great find.
Yeah. and like you could tell the first like 5 podcasts, I had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't mind at all. It was great because I was learning by teaching, and I had like this make believe audience, which turned into a real audience over time. And I've gotten emails like a lot of emails from people with questions and comments, and it really means a lot to know that there's like someone in Indonesia who's like getting something from something I said a year ago. So you never know where it's gonna go. It got me to do Daf Yomi. I never thought I'd do Daf Yomi. Anything Yomi? Are you kidding me? But I told myself that I'd record it, and I had to get that recording up before it was Daf time. So, like I built, I hardwired in that structure, and like I told myself like it's all like I will never, like there's certain things I'll never bend on, and because I have those, I could bend on other things.
That's interesting. Tell me more.
Yeah. I don't know how scoffically if this is correct, but I don't take off my tefillin before the end of davening.
Right.
Okay. I'm not the best at coming on time to davening. I could come late.
Right.
But I will. My tefillin don't go off before the end of davening, last kaddish or baruch, whatever it is. Um, and it's like I've had some really bad days, like we all have. But it's like I know my tefillin stays on, and like when I was in yeshiva, I jogged daily. So I knew like I was going to get that jog in. And some of those jogs were like the slowest slogging you've ever seen. And I was just like trudging along with just like I'm pretty sure this is a hernia. And I, but like I had to because I like without those, then my mind is and my day is total chaos. So I really live and breathe off of those infrastructures that I build in.
Right. Amazing. Are there any other challenges that came up in adulthood in particular, like career, family, things like that, that I guess surprised you or didn't surprise you, but things you had to learn how to navigate?
I'm trying to think of like when I got rejected or like, I don't know. It could be I did poorly at things because of the way my mind worked, and I didn't. I never put the two together. I never saw the way my mind works as a cause of failure. I thought I thought the situation didn't work out well. Um, in hindsight, it just wasn't a good match. Like and I wish I never signed up for it, just knowing like no, this is not for me, and I could confidently say like I will not succeed at it. Although it's good to have had failure, past tense.
Right.
And just, I hope I grew a little from it.
Right. So as we start to wrap things up, what's a message of hope you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Oh my gosh, you're the best.
Oh, it's not
They
fair.
wish they could be like you.
I'm blushing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. I think what you're doing here, just calling it ADHD, the heroes, like it, it's so easy to feel like we're less than or inadequate and capable. We're just capable at different things, and it could take time to find out like where your superpowers lie. And the schooling system is getting better at it and at noticing that like okay, it is a pretty rigid system and it is designed for a certain type. If you're not that type, that's not a it doesn't say anything about you. You're just amazing at something else, and you will find it. There should be like a pride, and like you bring that to people, and you're bringing people on who have that stolz of like I'm special. But like not like in the what's the word?
Right.
People are just trying to make you feel good.
Right. Patronizing.
Patronizing, yeah. It's not just a line. Like you can do things that nobody else can do. Like literally, like there are jobs that people are looking for you specifically, and because you can do it easily, and other people it would take them 5 times as long, and they'll sweat buckets where you'll just whiz right through it. You just have to give it a little bit of time and self discovery and world discovery, and you'll find that, and it'll just once you just find your lane, like, oh my gosh, you're gonna go so fast.
Awesome. All right. Anything else you wanted to mention?
It's an absolute honor to be one of you. Just such a we're just like the best group of humans to ever walk the planet. We're the best.
Awesome. All right. How can people get in touch with you?
Just email me. Yeah, I have a website, shloimebalsam.com. And yeah, and I have all my books on Amazon. And I like don't be that guy who thinks that I'm not waiting for your email. Like I love it. I get so many spam emails. I would love to get a little bit of people mixed in, so reach out, please. And I really try getting back right away. Just yeah, shoot me an email, give me a call. I do therapy in Ar Sameach in Yerushalayim, live or online. And I love people. So if you're a people, reach out.
Excellent. Okay, Shloime Balsam, this has been amazing. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's so nice to see you personally and professionally. Let's make this a habit.
Thank you again for listening to this episode of the ADHD Heroes podcast. For questions about the podcast, you can email us at adhdheroespodcast@gmail.com. Also, for sponsorships or to share your story, your ADHD story. You can also email us at the same place, adhdheroespodcast@gmail.com. To be in touch with me about ADHD coaching, writing, or speaking engagements, you can email me at rsreichadhdcoach@gmail.com. Be sure to check out my website, rsreich.com, adhdcoach.com. You can follow me on LinkedIn, or you can check out my blog on nefesh.org. Check out my blog there under my name. Important disclaimer: podcasts are great, but they do not take the place of mental health help or medical help. So if you need help with mental health or need a doctor, be sure to be in contact with some of them. Please, if you like this show, please rate, review, and share with a friend. That's how these things get out there. Thank you again for listening, and thank you to our producers at Pretty Easy Podcasts.